Hey, it's Friday, so you know what that means. It's time for another episode of LABSAdvisors Live. And boy, oh boy, do we have a smash hit today. I'm joined as always with my good friend and co-host, Mr. Joe McHugh. How are you doing today, bud?
I am doing well, and that intro is getting more and more dramatic every single time, and I am living for it. I'm absolutely living for it.
Who knows where it'll be in a year? We're going to be screaming at the top of our lungs this time next year. Absolutely. I'm joined today as well with two special guests, not just one, but double the special guests here. We got Miss Jennifer Timm. How are you doing today?
I am good. I think. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
Why don't you tell everybody
I'm sensing some nervousness there. Maybe we're doing something new today.
We certainly are. I have no idea where you guys are going to take me. I have not explored this new feature, so I am so excited to be forced to explore it because I'm just going 110,000 miles an hour. So I am actually based in Southern California. So unlike some of you who are ready to enjoy the end of the day, I'm halfway through my day and have spent the entire morning negotiating offers and repair requests. So yeah, this is a great change of pace, and I look forward to learning something new today.
Awesome.
And we are absolutely grateful for you coming in and being our guinea pig for today as well. And then, of course, we have Mr. Justice Roy from the Enablement Team at Keller Williams Realty International. Justice, how are you doing, bud?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you both so much for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Justice, Success Coordinator on the KW Enablement Team. I've been with KWRI for over 2 years now, and I love working with all of our amazing associates in the field. Whether you're a new agent, seasoned agent, or someone in between, I love getting to talk about how Keller Cloud technology can level up your business every single day.
And I have to say a personal thank you because I do not like teaching DocuSign. And so I recommend your class on DocuSign and the details all the time because that's such a winning class.
Yeah, one of many. We offer lots of classes in the marketplace. And for any of you out there wondering, where do I find out about these classes? Email us at learncommand@kw.com. That's my one plug. So yeah, shoot us an email and we can definitely give you all the knowledge that you need, just like we're going to be dropping today. We've got some exciting things to talk about today, and I'm super excited that you guys have me on.
Cool.
Wonderful. We're happy to have you on as well. So, Justice, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're going to be uncovering today? Because this is something new that we're kind of doing. Normally, we bring a LABSAdvisors on, or a LABSAdvisor on, to talk about something that they have a lot of experience in or have a fun use in. Today, we brought Jennifer in to sort of kind of be a guinea pig and test something new that has come out recently.
Yeah, so as most of you know, we have been going through what we like to call the Teamification of Command. So Command is going through a process where many of the applets are becoming team friendly. And really, in a nutshell, that means having a separate environment from your personal business and your team business, where everyone on your team can connect, collaborate, and engage on all things in that team environment. And one of the most recent things to become teamified is campaigns. And up until that teamification, all the activity that you did in campaigns was on your individual account. So if you got a lead from a campaign, it went to your personal account. If you're a rainmaker and you have someone on your team that you want running ads on your behalf or things like that, there was no way to really do that effectively. So now with the teamification of campaigns, we can really get in there and have some control as to what ads are being posted on behalf of who, where email campaigns are coming from, and where the branding is coming from each of those different marketing efforts. So today I'd like to talk about the setup, some of the different nuances, and maybe get into creating like a Facebook ad or a postcard or something.
Wow, we gotta move quickly.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
good. I'm excited about getting into the setup on this too, because I went in there, but I'm not as smart as Jennifer, so she's gonna pick up on this a lot faster than I am. But
No, I pretend because I literally know nothing. So you're gonna have to step me through everything and make me smart. I'm ready.
Jennifer, well, let's do it. As Jennifer said, she's the rainmaker. So we're going to be talking today through the rainmaker perspective. Keep in mind that different people on your team will have different roles and permissioning. So we're going to start off with the roles on the team. Sure. So Jennifer, if you can share your screen.
Boom. Okay.
Oh, it looks like we're actually in a transaction right now. Let's get out of
Oh,
there.
hold on. Okay, never mind.
She's doing some compliance real quick. We got to wrap this up. We got to make sure
Okay,
this
hold
file
on.
gets returned.
I don't know why you're seeing that, but
I can. Uh-oh.
Did we lose Jennifer?
We may have just lost Jennifer temporarily. I'm sure she will
That's
be
okay.
right back in.
So while we're getting Jennifer back, I did want to talk about those different permission levels while we're waiting for her, if that's okay.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So typically your permissioning is split up into 3 types of permissioning. You have unlimited permissioning, aka the Rainmaker, maybe someone on your team that does a lot of the stuff, your transaction coordinators that you trust with having all the access. They have access to just about everything that a Rainmaker does. Mm-hmm. Below that, you have what's known as enhanced user access, which means that you have more than your typical user, but you have some limitations that don't give you quite that unlimited access. Some of the things being like you can archive contacts, but you can't fully delete your contacts, things like that. Mm-hmm. When it comes to campaigns, if you have enhanced or unlimited, you pretty much have the keys to the kingdom for everything you would need to do. So for most of those, marketing people, director of operations, those roles on your team, that enhanced level will be just fine. Now, your standard users, those are going to be your rank and file agents that are on the team. Those are going to be able to post social postings and view what's going on with those campaigns. So just keep in mind that there are different roles. So what you're following along and what we're doing may look a little different depending on what your permissioning looks like. And that's one of the trickiest parts when we talk about teams versus solo agents, is that different people on the team will have different visibility into those applets.
Absolutely. And I would say that's definitely one of the first places we need to check. If you're on a team and you're about to be doing any of the things that we're going to be talking about today, do make sure that you stop by, go to your settings, go up to that very top, go to the, I think it's general, right? And then under there, just team management roles and permissions and whatnot. Jennifer, welcome back. We lost you there for a moment.
I am so sorry. We've got an internet issue going on in our market center. Of course, there would be the situation.
Isn't that the pain and joy of working online, is being able to run your entire business online until you don't have that online connection?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. All right.
Awesome. Well, let's get into your command account.
All right. So can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. You are sharing us. So if I put it on, people will just see a whole lot of us right now.
Okay.
We may even want to share the whole window then, or the whole screen to keep it.
All right, let me go back again and try that again. Stop sharing and share.
If there was ever any lines of dialogue that were more 2021 than this conversation that we are currently having.
Oh, the amount of meetings we go into and say, oh, you're on mute. Oh, you forgot to mute. Where's that echo coming from? Like all those things. It's all part of the experience.
Yeah, that's a hallmark of all of my meetings. I use Calendly, and one of the things it does is it mutes everyone upon entry. And there's no way to turn that feature off with the Calendly connection. And every single time I start a meeting, it's, oh, hey, I see that you're muted still. There we go.
All right. So if I add you to stream, we're warped. So let's switch to that command tab and we can be good.
Yeah, just hop to that tab.
Perfect. There we are.
Excellent. So now we are currently in your command account. And the first thing that we want to do is we want to go to your settings really quick, and we just want to check out a couple of things. So you can click on your settings down below.
Perfect. All right. And I'm definitely in my team account.
Definitely. And we can tell that because we see where it says, the team in the top right there. If you click into that real quick, just for a refresher for those people, whenever you're setting up your team settings, you want to be in your team settings, because Jennifer has both a team environment and a personal environment. So thank you for pointing that out. So Jennifer, if you could just quickly navigate to where it says connect settings.
Okay.
And the marketing profile. Now, before we ever do anything regarding marketing and command, I always say you want to double check your blueprint of marketing, which is the marketing profile. Now, this is the tool that pulls some of the information into the different campaigns and designs and things that we create. So it's very important that all of this information is correct. I see we have a photo, we have a team logo, we have your details. Military affiliation is a new addition that we just added in. Bio, contact information. All of that looks great. We have your market center information. It's very important that's uploaded in there, because that DBA logo will automatically pull over into those Facebook ads. I see you have all that compliance information filled out. You're doing all the things right, Jennifer. Like the amount of marketing profiles I've gone into that don't have that stuff, it's a conversation. But it looks like you're already set up for success. We even have our social media links that have been added in. So you're good to go there. No tweaks or changes that I would recommend. Evan or Joe, do y'all have anything on the marketing profile?
Jennifer's not messing around.
Yeah, she's in California, so if she reads wrong, they send her to jail. So,
well, okay, so let me put a disclaimer out there, and actually let me ask another question related to that this may help with, because we've got all these expansion team opportunities. I'm actually licensed in 2 states. So my primary business runs in California, so I have everything set up here for, my contact for California. But because I'm licensed in Texas, I actually have to add in the Texas compliance links as well. So at what stage might we be able to have different marketing profiles?
we got to the feature request portion of this much earlier than usual.
Yeah, so there's a couple components to that. So the first thing I would say is, one, absolutely make sure that that's on ideas.kw.com, because agents that are located in multiple states and multiple market centers is a thing, and we are very much aware that that's a thing, but we definitely want to talk through what that would look like and how we can structure that. The other component of that is very soon we're going to have team marketing profiles, because what I wanted to point out here is, if you notice, this is still your personal marketing profile. And that's one of the key things that we want to point out when we're creating campaigns, is that we're going to be able to decide, who is this being branded from? Is it going to be branded from you, from your, listing agent, from your buyer's agent? Who's that going to be? Because currently we don't have those team marketing profiles. So it's important to incorporate the team logo and things like that for whatever profile we're using for that campaign. So this looks great. Everything's on point. So I think we're ready to move into campaigns.
My one comment here that I would say too is, I see agents not do this and then try to use like a design, and it won't fire because some of those merge fields don't exist properly and it's trying to pull them. So definitely make sure you put it in here. I'm not sure. I even think some of the ones that say they're not required for that legal footer, I think still it needs it. I'm not sure which ones those are. So I tell people to put as much information in here as possible.
Absolutely. And with those email campaigns and things, you are able to tweak and remove those merge tag data fields, but it can get a little messy, especially when you're messing with HTML. So just as Joe said, as much as you can fill out, the better. And it looks like Jennifer's really got it all. So I think we're pretty on point there. So let's navigate over into campaigns. Let's get started there.
All right.
Perfect. So there is a 2-step, well, really a 3-step process to this. The first question I want to ask you, Jennifer, is, do we have lead routing set up in Command?
Kind of yes and kind of no.
Okay.
So
do you mind explaining that a little further?
Yeah. So I just the structure of my team, I have an agent, one agent on my team, and then the third person is just basically a transaction coordinator.
Got it.
So at this point in time, I've played around with lead routing for sure. And right now I don't have anything that's being routed to the other team member, but that varies from day to day depending on what campaign we're running.
It's technically still a lead route, right? If it's going to one person.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to just remind everyone out there, keep in mind that we can certainly set up different routes for different days, different holidays, different events, different types of campaigns, things like that. And it is important to make the most out of team campaigns that you have those lead routes in place so that you're properly getting those leads sent to the people on your team. Jennifer has a bit of a smaller team, but for some of those people that have like 7 or 8 listing agents, it can get really messy if everything is just going to the Rainmaker or just going to that lead pool. So having, with the round robin or the weighted round robin, there's a lot of different ways you can take that, or even an assigned to agent lead route that says that, hey, when it comes from a Facebook ad from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, it's going to my main man, Evan, because he is the person that handles those Facebook ad leads. So we can really get in there and structure that. And unfortunately, we don't have the time to do that today, but there are lots of amazing articles on answers.kw that really get into the nitty gritty of those different nuances. So I just wanted to point that out, that there is that component that you want to make sure you have set up. But what I'd like to get into now is clicking on that connect accounts, and let's get those accounts connected and set up and just kind of review what's there. So you'll see it's a blue button. Yeah, right there. Perfect. And so now we can see that you have some accounts connected, which is great. So if you can just go ahead for me and click on where it says Facebook Post Scheduling Manage on the right.
Boom.
Excellent. And so currently what we have is your 2 accounts that are connected, and you just want to make sure that you share those with the team, because if it's not shared with the team, you won't be able to do team campaigns. As well as if someone else on your team had enhanced or unlimited permissioning, they can now run those ads. So it's very important to have that shared so we can do those team campaigns. And let's go ahead and do the same thing for the ads manager section.
And Justin, a quick question for you too, while we're talking about that. Does that have to be from the Rainmaker? On the Rainmaker settings be shared with team, or is it anybody on the teams?
Anyone who has unlimited or enhanced access can do that. So it's important to make sure that like if I'm on the team as well and I have that enhanced access, I go in and use the share with the team so that we can create those campaigns on behalf of me. But Jennifer's going to be the one to not only say these are in the team, but this is the default account that we're gonna run those campaigns on behalf of. Now we can change and tweak those things, but we just want to be really careful about that. So the next thing I'm going to have you click into, Jennifer, is click onto where it says campaigns in the settings right here. So not the actual campaigns applet, but that drop down. Yeah, that one right there. And we're going to now navigate into default campaign account. So after you go through, you get your Facebook, your Twitter, your Google AdWords connected. Now we're going to come in and say, where are the default accounts going to be tied to? So this is where we can go in and say, you know, who are we going to have it branded from? Is it going to come from Jennifer or someone else on the team? And what accounts do we want to use as the default? So it's going to come from Jennifer. If she had a Twitter ads manager, she could set that up. A Google ads manager, she could set that up. And for the post scheduling, who do we want the defaults to come from? I'm going to guess it's Jennifer. and then same thing for the command email. The one thing that I point out with the command email is this is where it can get really messy with the lack of a team marketing profile. So I recommend that you have the email and the marketing profile come from that Rainmaker and have everything be branded towards that team. So when you send out an email or anything like that, it's connected and flows properly. All right. Joe or Evan, anything else that y'all think on this area that I'm missing?
No, I think we just about nailed everything there. So if let's say I was on Jennifer's team as well, and I had in my settings connected my Facebook account and share with team, Jennifer would see one of my pages there as an option for her to pick to if she wanted to. Got it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what creates that team environment, is the ability for everybody to be able to benefit from that. And what's really cool is that for those standard users, while they're not able to create Facebook ads or things like that, or email campaigns or postcards, they're still able to create social posting. So it's important for them to go in and share their account with the team so that that's accessible. Because if, let's say, Jennifer creates a really nice social post for a listing, I can go in and I can say, I like that social post. And with the click of a button, I can share that to my Facebook business page. So not only is it shared to the teams, but it's shared to my individual agent business page as well. And that's something that we didn't have before with the individualized campaign. So by having that team environment, it's truly connected. And this is only going to get better and more integrated, and as time goes by. So it's really important for those of you out there that are watching this thinking, it would be really cool if I could see this or do that. Please make sure you're putting those ideas on ideas.kw.com, because that's where those suggestions get pulled in. Awesome.
Love that. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking notes. So
please do. I talk really
it's
fast.
like adding to
so I
my
apologize.
to-do list. That's awesome. Yeah.
And now, just real quick, because this is defaults, right? So I'm assuming at some point down the line, you can change this, right? So if she wants to use a different account, she can make the switch. This is just to make it so that it's streamlined to whatever your core business is.
Absolutely. And so if you think about like smart plans, team smart plans were one of the first things that came out. It has a similar setup where you're going in and saying like, this is the default person that, is going to be the representative for the task or for the text or for things like that. So it's a similar concept. We want to be able to point to those different people, because in this scenario, it's very easy to say Jennifer is that person. But when we start to talk about those larger teams and those teams with those different roles and dynamics, it can get a little messy. And so this really helps to try to clear it up a little bit. So for those of you out there that have those teams, I know you're going, yes, this is exactly what we need. So awesome. All right, let's hop back into campaigns. And why don't we walk through creating something?
Sure.
We're going to make a big ad today, right? Jennifer, what's the budget you said you had? 500 for today?
Well, hey, we can create one. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Do you have a listing on the market that you want to create an ad for? Well, look at you. You've already created some ads in here. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you can help me do a better job because, they aren't quite performing as well as they used to.
So let's see. Do we have for testing purposes, how would you feel about duplicating that 3013 Amencia LA one, and we can like build upon it?
Okay. All right. So this is a beautiful property, by the way, but it's sold.
How about we pitch it as a just sold ad? We don't have to necessarily publish it, but we could build it as one that's just sold. And for those of you out there that are thinking about creating Facebook ads, one of the biggest pieces of advice that I can make for you is leverage those listings. So if you're in an area that allows for you to promote coming soon or things like that, you can create an ad for that, a just listed, price reduction, just sold, pending close. These are all the ways that you can leverage your listing into individual ads. And not only that, thank you for clicking on that button, Jennifer. You're going to notice that there's a duplicate campaign button. So if you have an ad that's running really well, Jennifer, where are you? You said you're in Southern California. What part specifically?
I am in San Clemente in Orange County.
Okay, awesome. So if we're in Orange County and we're advertising and we want to do another of the same ad targeting, say, Irvine or Orange itself, or I'm testing my Southern California geography right now, or if we wanted to go a little further out and hit LA or San Diego or some of those other places. I know a little about Southern California. My mom grew up there, so I know a little bit about the geography. But we can take that same ad and target other locations very easily by leveraging that duplicate and customize. And all you have to do is just change the target city. So I point that out because so many agents I tell that to, they're like, I never even thought about that. So that's a big call out that I wanted to make. But let's go ahead and hit that duplicate and customize.
And just I will get there. That's what I've done. So that particular property, I have run it all over the country to get that one sold. So it definitely works extremely well.
Yeah. Jennifer, do you mind if I ask you where you got the insights for where to target?
Where to target? So basically, this is a luxury property. It was a $4.2 million, very unique property. So we definitely looked at feeder patterns. We also looked, because it's a luxury property, had a 20-car garage with a luxury home attached.
Wow.
I networked with my luxury agents and figured out where that buyer pool might come from. And so it was a combination of looking at the feeder patterns. Yes, we looked at the referrals within Command. We also looked outside at where people are moving to and from, and then also where we thought car collectors would be. And again, that's those luxury locations, because this is a property within easy access of the ocean, and you can keep a car collection at home.
That's amazing. And I love how detailed that is. So that's amazing. You have a lot of different sources. And it sounds like you talked about one source that I wanted to mention, which was referrals. So in referrals, under the referrals map, there is a referral patterns tool that will show you where people are coming to and from. So for those of you that are going, well, that's a good idea. I'd like to target my ad in other locations, but I don't know where. Leverage referrals. So I just wanted to call that out. But it sounds like Jennifer's already doing it.
Yeah, that one I've known for a while, but absolutely invaluable. And I pair that with some of the moving companies. So just Google moving patterns in the US and you'll find all sorts of interesting data.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So for those of you that have never created a Facebook ad before, this is really a checklist. We're going through each of these lines and just updating information and making sure everything is how we want it to look. So you can go ahead and skip out of Gary for this once.
I love that. I always love that Gary's the one telling us how to do all this.
It's that reminder.
Gary knows best. So we could start from the top. And really, the first thing that we want to do is just, what is the campaign name? What is the goal of this? It is strictly for internal purposes. There's a misconception that this is outward facing. It's just for your Command account. So we could update this to say just sold, like you have the JS there, whatever you want for your internal process. And then what is the goal? Advertise the listing. Maybe it could be attract listings if we're wanting to find new listings. If that's the goal that we've already sold it and we're wanting to try to find new people, we can change the language so that it's more like, hey, if help me sell or let me sell your dream home or something like that. Like, let's find your next dream home. Like, there's a lot of ways that you can take that listing and kind of change the message a little bit, but we'll go ahead and hit save there.
And just for anybody who does not know, I always like to point out the only thing that changes when you pick the type of ad there is the multiple listing one, right? That's the only one that changes the actual workflow here.
Yeah, that's strictly for internal tracking. And it also helps with data collection, so we can see like success metrics. So, you know, a couple of years from now, when we get those insights, we can say those who are creating attract listing ads in this area tend to do really well when they do X, Y, Z. So there's a bit of value for us, but it doesn't impact the way that the ad performs. That's another misconception, is people think if they selected attract listings versus attract buyers or attract talent, that it's going to actually change the way the ad works. It doesn't. It doesn't. Awesome. We'll go ahead and hit save. And then with the text, let's click into that text there. Let's take a look. Jennifer, that text looks amazing. So one of my big rules I always say is that you always want to have emojis with your text. Why? Because people are scrolling at rates that are so insane. With all of the dog videos and cute memes and stuff that are out there, it's very difficult to capture someone's attention. So one of the easiest ways to do that is to tell a visual story through text using emojis. And Jennifer did it just right. Like, it looks amazing. The only thing that maybe I would add as an alternative is sometimes we see that, like with the 6 beds, 4 baths, having like a bed emoji and then like a shower emoji, things like that just helps call attention to the bed bath. But other than that, everything looks solid there. We got the headline and there's a call to action. That's the other thing that can set up an ad for failure, is to not have a call to action. So click below for more info and address with the hand pointing down. Jennifer, you're a pro.
Yeah, clearly not her first rodeo, because it's not a house with a 20-car garage. It's a 20-car garage with a house, right? The house is a side note to this, and I love this.
Yeah.
Well, so I must say again, this is not my comfort zone. Marketing is not my thing. Contracts and negotiations, those are my big thing. So I reached out to others, and I've learned best practices through going through the help articles that are there, and reaching out through KWRI Command and other groups, and just asking, like, what is everybody doing? So I have a little cheat sheet. This is not me. I reached out to the best of the best, and I am just, stealing like an artist.
It makes my heart happy when I see this, because the worst thing is someone who does not follow these tips and tricks, runs a Facebook ad one time, doesn't get the numbers they want, and say Facebook ads just don't work. And you are someone who's clearly done it several times, tried some different ways, and that's what we want to see, because Facebook ads are not a cookie cutter solution for anyone. It varies very drastically from city to city, demographic to demographic. So it is something that we have to tweak and adjust and find the best formula. But you're doing all the things right with your text. Let's move on to the next section.
Okay, so we good on the text?
Yeah, we're good on the text. That's solid. Your media looks good. Another suggestion that I would make for your typical house is I would have like an interior shot, an exterior shot, a shot of the of like a nearby community thing, like a pool, or if there's something detached from the property, like a clubhouse,
like a 20-car garage,
right? Like a 20-car garage. This is a luxury property, so it's a little difficult to make that type of comparison versus like the first-time homebuyer experience. But this is still a beautiful set of photos right here. So these all look amazing. You have the DBA logo embedded. The only thing that I would recommend is I don't see the ownership statement there, so I would just make sure that we include that ownership statement checked off, so that it's applied to the image.
Okay, perfect.
So that's one thing, but other than that, looks solid. Oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot. We're not good on the text because we wanted to change the text to just sold. So let's just change that language slightly.
Okay.
So let's say we could change the headline to something that says like, just missed the, let's see.
Jay Leno just bought.
Just sold.
And should I tell you the saddest thing about this? The buyers are converting the 20-car garage into a bowling alley.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is sad.
After all our marketing for car collectors.
Right. Let's see. So why don't we change where it says 20-car garage and home to say recently sold trying to think here. Yeah, let's take out that 20-car garage. Sorry, I'm spacing on this because normally what I go to is those first-time home buyers, and I want to do this property right. Recently sold. Call me. No.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
Yeah,
got
except we never have enough characters to do that. So.
Yeah. With the reduction to 25 characters, recently sold. Trying to think.
Yeah, I like the sold being on there, like the recently sold. I actually just like it as it is right there.
Yeah, I think the recently sold is solid. I would probably take out, like I was looking up at the line above, maybe take out the secret room waiting to be discovered and replace it with something along the lines of
secret room?
Yeah, what was the secret room? Was it the 20?
No, actually, there is a panic room hidden in the home. It's one of those, push the bookcase and you walk into this amazing room with 2 huge gun safes and that wasn't
this is why I couldn't be a luxury real estate agent, because I would have too much fun showing the property, being like, guys, watch this. And just pull the book out and let the door open.
No idea. Every showing in that house was 40 minutes minimum.
I just have to say, I love that you went to, was the 20-car garage the secret room? Like in some kind of bat cave in California. Like that's where my mind went on this one.
The garage is inside the cliffside, just overlooking.
This is Tony Stark's house.
Yeah,
and
that's wild.
This is where he keeps his Iron Man suits.
So what I would say is I would change the click below for more info and address, and I would change it to let me find your new dream home. Something like that to indicate that your goal is to attract new clients and not bring so much awareness to this property per se. Just solds can get a little tricky because you want to highlight the property while still saying like, let me help you find your version of this house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might even go towards something like it's a unique home. So like finding the unique home that's right for them, something along those lines.
Right. And it's something, like I said, that, you want to try different things and don't be married to one thing until that thing is like proven successful. So that's good. Let me find your new unique home. Recently sold. Perfect. That looks good. So we can keep going. Text looks good. Image looks good.
So question on the description.
Right.
Yes or no to a description?
So that's a great question. So I think your description looks great right there. But the biggest thing that I always say with the description is never put anything that has to be seen every time. And that's because Facebook sometimes will manipulate the ad slightly and do some interesting things. One of them being determining whether the description will help clickability or not. So sometimes they'll hide the description and sometimes they'll include it. And another thing that they do that people don't realize is it will actually, the algorithm of Facebook will rearrange your photos to make them more clickable. So we sometimes get questions like, hey, what's the best first photo to use? Don't get too hung up on that because Facebook's going to rearrange them until they find the best match anyway. So as long as you have good photos, Facebook will do the rest on that front. But text, photos, great. Let's move on to those Facebook settings.
All right. And as we go on to there, any recommendations on the number of photographs to use?
3 to 5. I usually say 3 to 5. Like I said, front of the house, back of the house, 2 interior shots, and then like something that is separate from the property, a pool, a clubhouse, a community park, something like that. If you have like a really cool monument or something like next door to the property, like pointing that out. But that's usually the formula that I say. Okay, so here we have our Facebook account and our business page. We're just making sure that that's selected. We have the Facebook lead generation form clicked. So that's very important because that's how you get those leads pulled into Command. We've got a listing landing page attached, that's awesome. Those are all the right things. You want to think when somebody clicks on that learn more, what are they going to get? And they're going to get more info on the property, which is what they really want. So you're doing that right there, Jennifer. Perfect.
Well, let me ask a question on that one. So what I did is I pulled up the property on my website and that's where it lands, or should you be creating a separate standalone landing page?
Yes. So one of the cool things you can do under consumer is you can create a dedicated landing page with tools that give insights into that specific property and the market. And I would recommend pointing people there with a lead capture form, because if somebody shares that landing page with someone else, they can fill that lead capture form out, and then you get supplemental leads that go into your Command account.
Right. Yeah. And I've tried both ways. So
yeah, either or, but this is a great like alternative. Like if you're like, hey, this is going to get sold really quickly, I don't want to put a lot of time into making a full landing page, a listing page like this is sufficient.
Perfect.
Awesome. It's much better than like I've seen people just literally put like KW.com or like just like very general pages, and like that doesn't really give the client what they're looking for. Okay, so now we got targeting. Now I can do some fun stuff here. Okay, so if you turn off custom settings, the default will be a 20-mile radius of wherever the listing is. But we currently have custom settings turned on, so we can do some manipulation here. We can target a custom audience, which means that we're going to target a range between 15 miles and 50 miles of whatever city we state, as well as we can also target our database. So one of the things that people don't realize is that you can target your own database in conjunction with targeting Facebook in general. And the best way to leverage that is to make sure that your contacts that you add to the audience not only have an email, but have the social profile of their account added to the contact card, because that's how you get a more accurate targeting. Because let's say you add my email, my justice.roy@kw.com, that's not my Facebook email. So I'm not going to get targeted by that request. So you're kind of, wasting money in that regard. But if you have the email and the social profile added, that's going to help better target. But you should never, there's never really a scenario that I know of, if anyone wants to challenge me on this, they can, where you should only be targeting your database. Because even Facebook directly has given us the directive, if you're going to use target my database, use it in conjunction with targeting a custom audience.
So let me ask you a couple questions here, just for clarity.
Yeah.
One is with this, because you just brought it up. If you do a custom audience and target my database, it actually goes to both of those. So let's say I have my database, but I also say Chicago, Illinois, and somebody falls outside of Chicago, Illinois. Will it hit them?
Yes.
Okay. That's question number one. Absolutely. I did not know that, so thank you so much for that. Second is, if I don't know somebody's email address yet, but I want to lead generate to them, if I just have their Facebook profile link, will it work?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Cool. So anybody out there now who doesn't, we're totally off team topic right now, and I love that. But anybody out there who does not have people's email address or phone number, but you are friends with them on Facebook, go and grab that Facebook profile and put them as a contact in Command and market to them that way, is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's very easy, because even if you don't have their phone number or their email, like Joe said, hop on the profile, copy and paste. It's as simple as that. And it's that social profile section on the contact card under more information, additional information, I think is what the field is called. And it literally just says social profile, select Facebook, copy and paste, save it. Simple as that.
So here's the trickier question. So this might be a gotcha question. I don't know. Not trying to make it be that way.
Go for it.
If they're already in your database and they fill out that Facebook lead form, what happens?
Nothing.
Nothing. So how do we make sure we know those people? So this is why, and we'll talk through this, I keep them separate, is I think of, if we talk about like the MREA, right, the 36 touch, I think of targeting my database, that option more is just like a piece to the 36 touch, right? It's just a way to get in front of them, but I'm not necessarily lead capturing. So in those, I usually use that without the lead gen form, so that all I'm doing is staying top of mind with my database without having to worry that they're filling out a form that I'm never going to know about, right?
Right. And I think also a great way for this is targeting those leads that you haven't. So I think more the use case that I see for most people who use Target My Database is those people that you haven't connected with truly, or haven't done a deal with, like those leads that are just sitting in Cultivate that you haven't been able to secure an appointment with, right. Putting those things in front of their face, getting them to keep you top of mind and think, I actually I'm going to return his call. I'm going to take him up on that coffee date, or take him up on that conversation that he wants to have. So that's really the way that I see it, but it should never be like a standalone thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure who said this because we like to shame people for not sharing the StreamYard because it says Facebook user. Somebody said love that. It was on
Maureen
one of
Robinson.
our recent comments. But we're going to shame them and also love them for saying that. So
awesome. Thank you. The other section that I want to point out here, Jennifer, because everything's been great up until this point. I want to point out the expert targeting down below. So that is a missed opportunity because currently we're targeting everyone in a 20-mile radius of Irvine, California. There's a lot of people in Irvine, California. So what we want to do is we want to create a funnel that we can funnel in people that are interested in a luxury property. So one of the cool things about this is we always hear people say, oh, Facebook leads are like Zillow leads. It's just people that are just looking online and just click into it. So if you've ever had like a friend who had like a baby shower or something and you started looking for baby stuff, and then all of a sudden your Facebook was flooded with baby stuff, that's the same philosophy that's applied into this approach. So you can go in and apply some keywords for somebody who would be interested in a luxury property, and they're more likely to see those things. Of course, you want to incorporate things like Zillow, Trulia, those types of keywords, because if you're searching for real estate, you're in that funnel. But without those keywords, when you have those custom settings turned on, it's going to be anyone in Irvine. Whereas when you have the custom settings turned off, Facebook is using its algorithm to determine who should best see this ad. So we want to make sure that if we're using custom settings, we're using them to the best potential, because you may run the risk of getting those casual lookers who said, oh, 20-car garage, let me check that out. I'm going to click into that. And then, it's someone like me who can't afford a house with a 20-car garage yet. Once they get that profit share tree up, then we can have a different conversation.
Right.
Okay, awesome. So so those things, Trulia, Zillow, all those keywords, and you can get really creative. I think those 4 that you have are solid. Realtor.com, real estate investment, rent to own, renter's insurance, all those different things. There's so many keywords that are valuable that really help to expand that funnel. But I think these are solid right here. So we'll hit save. Okay, so this is really strange because I saw this happen yesterday and I reported this as a bug. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. It's not. No, we just had the target my database on. I had this happen yesterday and I saved the draft and came back and it worked. But we don't have to actually target your database. We can just uncheck that box.
Okay.
But that's basically just saying, hey, you said target my database. Who are we targeting? So we can go ahead and hit save here.
Okay, so you do have to do some kind of clarification on if you're going to target your database.
Yes, because you want to be able to say. So actually, if you want to click back into that, we can talk about that just a little bit more. If you check on target my database, it's going to ask you, who are we targeting? So you would hit create a new audience.
Okay. All
and
right,
that's
that
where you
makes
build the audience, either based off of the tags or the neighborhoods. And then once we have that established, it makes it easier in the future to have those audiences pulled in, like your buyers, your specific area leads. Yeah, there you go.
Now, do we need to do this every single time, or when you add a new tag, does it update the audience?
It updates the audience.
Okay, cool.
It updates the audience. Yeah, if it's based off of that tag, because that's the trigger.
Awesome.
Okay, perfect. So we can save this. We'll move into our lead settings. I know we're starting to run low on time a little bit, so we'll wrap this up. We've got the lead settings section right here, and this is where we have 3 components to this. We have lead routing, so it looks like Jennifer's got that Facebook ads lead routing going. We have an auto tag, and we also have the ability to assign to Smart Plan. Now, keep in mind, now with specific tag triggers, if you have a tag associated with a Smart Plan, then all you have to do is add that tag, and then they'll automatically be added to the Smart Plan. But it looks like this is a tag that's specifically for this property, so maybe that's not how it's set up. So then we can go in and assign to a specific Smart Plan that we want this to run on. Because keep in mind, you can only have so many tag triggers associated with a Smart Plan. So
now, will it actually, if you have one associated with the tag and run a Smart Plan as well, it's going to run both of those, correct?
Yes.
So you just want to be mindful of that.
Right. Yeah. Well, it won't run the same plan, but you can definitely do different plans. Yeah.
Right.
So like if I had a tag associated with Smart Plan, then in this list, that Smart Plan would be grayed out. And I see my Facebook paid ad lead follow-up. That looks oddly familiar, like the one that I published in the Smart. Did you get that one from me? Is that my smart plan?
Probably.
I was like, wow, if that's how I'm pretty sure I have it. And
Justice, actually, I don't know if you could read it. It says my, so it's definitely hers.
Yeah. But
Okay,
yeah, I was just going to say, if you didn't have one,
like an artist, still like an artist. Nobody has to start from scratch. That's what I absolutely love about all the crowdsourced resources we have. It's phenomenal.
To be fair, I stole mine from another agent who gave it to me, so I didn't No, I had
as
a
we
really
are
good
getting
one.
towards the end of this topic, I do want to point out real quick as we're getting close, because our stream is on a slight delay for those of you that are online. So if you have any questions over anything that we've talked about, been monitoring that viewer count, we've had a lot of folks watching. So if you got some questions what we're talking about, we have Justice with us, who very clearly knows this inside and out. We got Jennifer, who's got a lot of experience selling property on this. We got some great people, great minds for you guys to be picking. So feel free to drop those questions in the comments, and make sure you also enable the StreamYard so Joe doesn't make fun of you. And outside,
I do have to apologize. I did confuse Maureen, who was like, "Why are you shaming me?" It was a great question. We love you, Maureen. We just give people a hard time when Facebook user comes up. But we love that we taught you something here today. Like, that is our goal. So thank you so much for being on here. Please come back. Don't feel like you were shamed away from this.
All are welcome. All are welcome. Perfect. So we'll finish up with this section, and then would love to, do a little Q&A at the end, see if there's any outstanding questions. Yeah. I did want to ask Jennifer, was there a specific reason for the 4-day duration and $7.50 daily budget?
So that specifically was while we were doing some very intense open houses. So we were really targeting around a specific time period.
So is that quick turnover?
Yeah. So so for something like a just sold, what would your recommendation be based on best practices?
Right. So typically my recommendation for anyone the first time they created an ad is $3 a day for 10 days. And the reason behind that is because if after 4 or 5 days, you're not getting the metrics that you want to see, you can stop that ad, duplicate it, make some tweaks, swap out the photos, swap out the text, and rerun it. So that way you're not committing to a large spend in a short period of time. But if you're in that situation that Jennifer said, where you have a deadline for an open house or a specific event, sometimes you have to either make it longer or really short, depending on what that looks like. So just be mindful of that timeline, and that this ad is going to be running, and that you're going to be capturing leads until the end of that, run, unless you stop it. But you can always stop an ad at any point. Like if you get a deal or an offer comes in and you're like, I got to shut down my ads, you certainly can. You just go in and pause them. And after that ad runs through time, you'll get those leftover funds in the form of a credit that can be used later on. So yeah, $3 a day. I think that's solid for specifically the just sold scenario. I think the same rule applies. It's all about, we're trying to generate more leads, find more listings, find more buyers, things like that. So that's a safe bet, and just continuing to run that. And if it runs well after 10 days, you can simply hit duplicate and run, and then it just reruns. But yeah, we won't, I don't know if we want to actually publish this one today, but if you do click that publish campaign option, you'll see that it'll tell you how much it's going to cost, and if you have any credits applied, and what that looks like. Does your area allow for recently sold, Jennifer?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, awesome. I just know California has those crazy rules.
Going for it. Boom.
It's done.
We just published it live. Well, that was a phenomenal run through. Justice, Jennifer, thank you guys both so much. Now, Justice, I've gone ahead and put a link into the chat of something that I know that you wanted to mention and talk about before we got out of here today, about some usability tests that are coming up. We have some availability for that.
Absolutely.
And as always, for those people who want to actually write it down, I'm going to put it up on the screen. So if you want to copy that, by all means.
We love that. As y'all know, this is LABSAdvisors Live. So for those of you out there, one of the amazing things that we always love to say about Command is the fact that it's built by agents for agents. And our product team and our usability team is looking for 2 more participants in an upcoming usability event. So please sign up for that, because we love getting that input, feedback, and suggestions, because that's how the system grows and develops and gets better and better every day. But yeah, that's that plug for that. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below in the post and tag me. I'm happy to follow up. But yeah, you just go to that link, fill out the details, and then yeah, you'll be invited to the event.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you both so much. Justice, fantastic job going through everything there is to know about running Facebook ads and all the new things that we've learned about the team campaigns app. But I feel a lot better about it. Jennifer, how are you feeling?
Oh, that you made it so easy. You absolutely made it so easy. Again, it helps that I've run an ad, and it was great to just be able to, do that teamification. But it's so simple, absolutely simple, and that just saved me another step in life. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Jennifer, and thank you, Evan and Joe, for having me. I did just want to say out there, for those of you that are interested in marketing stuff like that, like I said, shoot my team an email, learncommand@kw.com. Also tune into our weekly Wednesday Facebook Live, This Week in Command. We talk about things like that. But yeah, I love getting to talk about, those success stories and trying to find new wins in different agents and teams businesses every day. And I think that was another win.
Yeah, absolutely. This was awesome. I learned something, and I try not to. No, this was really cool, and I think, obviously we started out with teams, but I think there were some real takeaways for any agent as far as what you can use. Basically retargeting we talked about, so that was cool. And yeah, so thanks for being here.
Awesome.
Thank y'all for having
guys.
me.
Next week we got Mike Hyde coming on, and he is going to be giving us all kinds of great tips. I don't have the topic up right in front of me. Oh no!
Was it on his super awesome?
It is on that
action
spreadsheet,
plan?
Joe. Do you happen to have it pulled up already?
No, I don't. But he has his action plan. Right?
Command Your Sphere. That's what it is. Excuse me. It was on the calendar event. I had it right there. So Command Your Sphere. Mike Hyde is a massive power user of technology, and he's got lots of really one of the things I like about Mike as well, he's very passionate about the subject matter we're going to be talking about when it comes to marketing to your sphere and staying in long-term communication with people using Command. I'm looking forward to that episode. Justice, again, thank you. Jennifer, thank you. We will be back next week and every week after. See you guys next time.